G'day, Pickleball family. First thing to know, as shared on Forbes.com, cannabis and professional pickleball in first ever sponsorship deal. True Leave Cannabis Corp inks first cannabis sponsorship with professional pickleball leagues. True Leave Cannabis Corp recently made history as the first official cannabis sponsor of professional pickleball. In August, the company announced an innovative agreement with the United Pickleball Association, or UPA, parent company of the Pro Pickleball Tour, PPA Tour, and Major League Pickleball, or MLP. Financial terms weren't released, but the agreement gives True Leave status as exclusive cannabis sponsor and includes branding and digital integration. The association is a timely one as pickleball popularity continues to explode, while cannabis continues its evolution into a mainstream product. Components of the new collaboration include True Leave sponsorship of 12 premier events across the PPA Tour and the MLP in Arizona, Florida, and Georgia that began with the Atlanta Slam in September 2024 and will continue into 2025. We're focused on key markets where True Leave has a significant retail presence, said Gina Collins, True Leave's Chief Marketing Officer. As we learn more about the upcoming 2025 season and beyond, we're exploring sponsoring events in additional markets. The True Leave sponsorship is based on promoting wellness benefits of cannabis to a large and diverse audience of athletes and spectators. Explained Collins, we're fostering a broader awareness of how cannabis can serve as a resource for professional and amateur athletes alike, as well as those simply looking for a more natural approach to wellness. Fun and engaging platforms like pickleball tournaments allow us to share knowledge and broaden perspectives around cannabis wellness. It's a strategic way to promote wellness, said Jeffrey Watson, Senior Vice President of Marketing and Communications for the PPA Tour. True Leave want to showcase the therapeutic benefits of cannabis with an active, health-conscious community, which our pickleball participants are. That can include adults who are interested in pain management, joint recovery, and possibly even anxiety relief. Second thing to know, as shared on burnabynow.com, Pickleball Paradise, this old Burnaby Safeway to become massive indoor pickleball facility. The old Safeway at Lougheed Mall in Burnaby, Vancouver, Canada, is set to get a new lease on life as a 36,000 square foot state-of-the-art indoor pickleball facility. With 10 indoor courts set to open this December, the Inclusive Place of Pickleball, or IPOP, said the facility answers the rapidly growing demand for dedicated pickleball courts in the Lower Mainland. We're excited to create an inclusive space for where everyone, from first-timers to seasoned pros, can experience pickleball's physical, mental, and social benefits, said Chris White, CEO of IPOP, in a press release. It's going to be Pickleball Paradise. Pickleballers won't have to share the courts with tennis players or battle over schedules, as the new space will be dedicated to all pickleball all the time. The Lougheed IPOP location will include 9 professional-grade indoor courts, 1 regulation-size practice court, expert coaching, organised leagues and tournaments, pro shop, challenge zones to practice aim and accuracy, player lounge, corporate event area, online booking, inclusive programming for all skill levels. The facility will be membership-based, where members will have all-day, everyday access to drop-in play for a monthly fee, according to the IPOP website, along with member-for-a-day passes for visitors and guests. Membership pricing will come at a later date, according to the website. IPOP was created to serve Canadian needs and avoid incurring the high franchise royalties of American options, which could be as high as 10 to 18%, according to White. The company has plans to expand 2 more facilities in Surrey, Victoria, Nanaimo, Penticton, and Montreal in Canada, and Anchorage, Alaska. Third thing to know, as shared on sportico.com, pickleball team owner flips medical device fortune to sports investing. Ron Saslow wasn't necessarily looking to change careers, but when he finally listened to one of the many unbidden offers for his medical device business 5 years ago, it set him on a path of being at the centre of the booming US pickleball ecosystem. My family was in the medical and dental space for 60 years, and for 30 of those 60 years, I ran the company, Saslow said. I have 3 boys and they all have interest in other things, and it seemed no one wanted to get into that business. For that reason, Saslow, 58, decided in 2019 to sell his family's dental instruments manufacturing business, Hugh Freedy, to Cantel Medical. It wasn't an agonising decision. The offer was exceptional/ridiculous, Saslow says, of the $775 million Cantel paid for Hugh Freedy. The problem, though, was what to do next. I consider myself young and have no desire to stop working. And it didn't take long to look in the mirror and realise sports and music were the 2 biggest passions I had, he said. There are also areas that interested his sons, all now in their 20s. The result was 35 Capital, a private equity-style family office he runs with 2 of his sons. The company now has stakes in at least 10 pickleball businesses, including pro team Chicago Slice, Major League Pickleball, 4 paddle makers, and player ratings venture Duper, or Dynamic Universal Pickleball Rating. Despite his career in medical devices, Saslow wasn't a neophyte in sports ownership. The executive bought into the Chicago Cubs in 2015, but the formation of 35 Capital allowed him to combine his love for sports with the expertise he can bring to portfolio businesses in manufacturing and expansion from his Hugh Freedy days. We want to make investments in companies helping them get bigger and better, more global, more quickly than they'd be able to do themselves, Saslow said. We're not looking for startup companies. Our sweet spot is early stage. The family fun nature of 35, not to be confused with Kevin Durant's 35 Ventures, means Saslow is under no pressure to deploy capital, though he says they aim for multiple investments a year. When the family does invest, it's at dollar levels many early stage VCs won't approach, infusions of capital in the $1 million to $9 million range. Ideal candidates for 35 have more than $1 million in sales and a high percentage of repeat customers. The firm also wants a product it can understand, where Saslow can see how the product or service can be disruptive. The last general guideline is the presence of founders open to Saslow's guidance, given his business and manufacturing background. We're not just looking to sit back and make investments and let other people do it, he said. 35 doesn't take outside money, but it will bring investors into portfolio businesses, such as with the Chicago Slice. Cubs general partner Tom Ricketts, TV personality Heidi Klum, tennis great Chris Evert, and MLB Major League Baseball veteran David Justice had more than a dozen limited partners in the franchise. We don't see ourselves as a pickleball company, but we have seen this sleeve in our firm grow pretty dramatically, and we're now involved in just about every aspect of the sport. Besides the Cubs, early investments were in baseball businesses, Batmaker Jawbat, and player development app Mustard 2, and the firm also has a stake in the Aston Martin F1 team. But not long after the sale of Hugh Freedy closed, the pandemic struck, and the Saslows did what many others did in the pandemic. They took up pickleball. After falling in love with the sport, Saslow said, we began looking for a new sleeve of investments that would be tied into pickleball, believing the game would take off after previously being a niche sport played on the West Coast and in Florida, retirement communities. It doesn't always turn out that way, but we were correct, and we found ourselves at the beginning of an industry that was about to explode. It's not news pickleball participation has skyrocketed, growing more than threefold in the past 3 years to count some 35 million Americans as regular players. It's growing faster than any sport has ever grown, Saslow said. Maybe snowboarding would be an example of a sport that popped out of nowhere, but even then, pickleball seems superior, with an equal number of men and women playing and a big shift toward younger players in recent years. Some 29% of players are 18 to 34-year-olds, according to the Association of Pickleball Professionals, or APP. Given the still emerging nature of the game, 35 Capital is in the midst of extending its exposure to the sport beyond paddle makers, teams, and leagues. Announced this month is the fruit of an effort to create the first pickleball-specific sneaker. Saslow invested in a golf shoe maker, Squares, which was looking for capital to expand beyond golf shoes and baseball cleats. They agreed to collaborate on building a pickleball shoe from scratch, and give 35 Capital exclusivity to the pickleball space. The shoe will be marketed under the Pro XR brand starting this quarter. It's the name of one of Saslow's portfolio businesses, best known for grips used on bats, paddles, and golf clubs. Many of the shoe companies that have tried to repurpose tennis or basketball shoes into the pickleball space have failed miserably. The pickleball community really wants something for them, he said. They really believe their sport is different. Similarly, 35 is making a play into the competitive world of athletic wear by helping start Move, a pickleball apparel brand launched last month. Led by Chris Rourke, a veteran of Ralph Lauren, Levi's, and Shaquille O'Neal's own apparel brand, Move got a big investment from 35, Saslow said. We'll be helping steer the ship and drive the pickleball business using our connections. And eventually, we'll be sponsoring some of our players to launch into the space. From his vantage point, Saslow doesn't see the growth trajectory of pickleball easing for some time. Within China and India, it's growing like crazy. We see a huge expansion over there, he said, noting the firm has spent much of the past year doing market research and striking up relationships with regional distributors and local pros. China had one event where a couple of mid-level pros played, and not only did hundreds of thousands of people go to watch it, but they had 12 million people watching on the stream. The thirst for the sport is just incredible. Vietnam, the Philippines, and Australia are other growth markets for pickleball, he says. Growth in the US will eventually taper off. It won't be 70% every year. The rest of the world catch up to the US, at least for the next 5 to 10 years, is going to be ridiculously good. Just in case, 35 is also expanding into domestic US padel, another court sport similar to pickleball that's popular in Europe, with designs on making rackets, possibly owning a franchise, and including padel courts in the Chicago area real estate development the family backs. The fun of it all is being involved with sports for sure, Sasso said, but equally to have left one 60-year family business with my dad and then formed this with the next generation has been a really fun journey. Paddles up.